Guys, the dating game in 2026 has completely changed. All of the old channels no longer work, and you need a unified, hacked strategy to get the most action possible. I'm going to be revealing that today and giving you a step-by-step process that nobody else is talking about to get the most sex possible from the hottest chicks. Let's do it. Right. Guys, at Chris Hansen here, the one and only Chris Hansen, not the House Cats Predator guy. I am Hansen with the ON, okay? You may know me from some controversial TikTok videos. I had a run last summer doing dating content pickup. We also have a YouTube comedy channel. But I'm coming back full swing to help young guys under 30 to get action from girls, to win with girls, to change the dating market. This is the year where dating dynamics
yeah, nigga with that 556. We start screaming, haha, nigga. Yeah, we laughing at that G. Pussy nigga, you probably got it click. I'm not tired, I'm just getting started, nigga. You might as well call quick. I hit up that car, you would need more than car facts to get it fixed. And I got 20,000 in my pocket, I walk around like a fat kid. I throw back this perk, I get the bus, and I walk around like it's Pac-Man. You not go through that bitch.
It's going to flip. It's no longer going to be this whole selective thing where girls are waiting around, they don't want to sleep with you. This year, men are going to be more valuable, and you are going to have to know how to navigate the new dynamic. If you can do that, it's going to be a gold rush like you've never seen before. Okay, it's going to be like the Tinder days back in 2017, 2018. So if you're like me, a horny young guy, okay, you've been researching for years all of the potential tactics to get girls. Okay, back in the 2010s, it was all about cold approach, going up, what are the lines, pick up lines, the shit that you're gonna say. And then people were talking about optimizing their profile, the best pictures, not having selfies, what you say in the messages to actually get that on the date, okay? But recently, we've turned to a new era of the red pill has turned into the black pill. People are talking about how you need status definitively to get girls. People are talking about that you need to looks max your jaw. It's not even steroids and getting shacked now. Now people are talking about, very deep facial characteristics. That's what's trending. But really, none of this shit matters. You need to sleep with over 500 women. If you want to get laid, I'm going to explain to you the exact playbook that works for me. So as I mentioned before, this year the dynamic is going to change between men and women, and men will become more valuable once again. Okay, so for a couple of years now, what's happened is women have been getting a lot of followers on social media. They've become accustomed to getting that attention. This is why you see all these chicks on Fresh and Fit, right? All these fat girls who think they're super hot, okay? But at the same time, there's been other dynamics and things that are happening. If you go to a club in New York, an expensive nightclub, you're going to notice there's almost no guys there. Every bar I go to, there's groups of girls that are in their 20s, but the Gen Z guys are not going up to talk to them, okay? Now, a lot of the sugar daddies will have you believe that this is a generational thing, and the latest generation is just not as masculine, not as upfront, is afraid of women. This is totally not true. It's just bullshit that old guys say to make themselves feel better about their options, okay? So, a bit of context on the three above methods, okay, of approach. They each have pros and cons, okay? The best for you is approaching girls in public, walking up to them, getting confident. I understand not everybody has that type of charisma, and also 99% of people are too afraid to do it, but, all of us go to clubs, we go to bars, we get drunk, and we approach girls. Once you have 3-4 drinks in you, it's very easy to walk up and say, hey, you're hot, I want to talk to you. And if you've done it enough times, naturally you just get in the flow, you're able to start conversations, physically build up kino, start making out with girls, okay? That's the best for you for your development. You definitely don't want to get into an over-analysis where you're looking at lines and stuff like that, but it's a very beneficial method that is probably the most effective for meeting large amounts of new women. It's not dependent on your looks or status or anything. You could literally just go out and do it, and the girls will talk to you because they're bored. Other people are not approaching them in that environment. the other two channels, you know, they require other stuff. So for example, online dating, you have to be basically a tall, good-looking white guy. Or in certain markets, you could be, you know, a different niche. Like maybe you're black and you go to like Colombia or something. But it's online dating is very much based on your archetype. They're not going to be looking at, you know, individual details of your personality. There's ways that you can type out bios to make it more interesting, but really they're just looking for a checkbox. I want to be on a date with a tall white guy who's got a job. And that's how they make the decisions. There's a whole process for actually getting them on dates and what you say, but you know, online dating, you really have to fit one of those designated archetypes, and you do have to have money to pay for the app, meaning paying for the premium, paying for the boosts. You know, you're not going to get a sufficient top of the funnel to have really quality, frequent dates if you're not paying for it. So you got to get past that. Stop being pussy. Now, the status element of this, I've been rich, I've been poor, I've made 150 grand a month in profit. Okay, throwing that cash around, it doesn't automatically make you get laid. I remember when I was in Miami in 23, I had broke up with my girlfriend, kicked her out of the condo, and you know, I went back out single for the first time. This was the first time after I got rich and had money, okay? And I would be buying tables, buying drinks for my friend. Everybody at the club's coming up and looking at me. I'm dishing out $100 bills to people, to bartenders. They're coming up, dapping me up. I felt like I was a man. I felt like I was cool. But that month that I went out like that, I think I got laid maybe twice because I was so focused on just portraying this image. And the girls that were talking to me were trying to finagle me. They were trying to work for me. They were trying to, you know, get some business done. Maybe they would recommend other girls or whatever, but I found that I didn't really connect because people don't want you to be on a separate wavelength with them, okay? If you position yourself too much like the rich guy, you can't connect and get down to their level. That's the benefit of it, is you feel cool, and if you're narcissistic, it plays into your ego, but it doesn't help in terms of dating, okay? So what you really want from your status is an idea of popularity, okay? Intrigue, and not being a difficult person to deal with, okay? So what girls deal with a lot these days are guys who are not socially, you know, they don't have any social skills. They don't come up with date ideas. You know, when you do talk to them, they run out of conversations. They just want to fuck, meaning they don't have any finesse about it. They're not really thinking about it, okay? They're just like not a good time. That's probably most guys, okay? So when she's looking at your social media, she's trying to see, not that you're the richest guy with the Lambo and all that shit. All that stuff can be fake. You sitting as a club promoter with a bunch of girls, all that shit can be fake, okay? Images, etc. People are looking to see long-form content, like actual clips of you talking that convey your persona and that they show who you are. So let's say you were in the car, like a nice car like this, okay? That could be rented, right? But what about if you did like a video where you picked up your girlfriend in a Porsche and you went off and you spoke at an event? Okay, that puts you in a category, okay? And that personality is going to be what's attractive, okay? So if we're talking about my overall strategy, it's basically as follows, okay? You want to get in an environment a couple times a week, let's say 2-3 times a week, where there's a ton of girls, okay? So whatever city you're in, hook up, find a club promoter. You know, you can easily figure this out on IG, you know, search in the bios, or just, you know, go there and ask around, okay? Now, this club promoter is going to be your best friend. You may have like 2 or 3 of these in a given city, different clubs, okay? You're gonna be interacting with these guys daily. If you're a streamer, you're gonna be doing content with them. You know, you're gonna be taking them out for coffee, okay? If you have money, you are going to be paying them, tipping them, and, you know, helping them out with their sort of life. These guys have a funnel of women where women are always coming in looking to party. There's no good girls and bad girls. They all want to party. They all use the avenues. It makes them feel pretty to go to a club for free, okay? And promoters are the conduit by which that happens, okay? So they will constantly have new girls coming in that are going to be hot and young, and they will constantly have they have an existing database of contacts, you know, from the past, probably older girls who retired from the clubs, okay? But by becoming friends with the promoter, you're going to get access to all this, okay? Then you're going to build out a social profile. Let's say your job is in sales. Maybe you record some content about sales, teaching it to other people. Maybe you apply it to some social topics, like joking around about Love Island or something that girls are into. You create sort of a persona around this niche. It doesn't have to be high quality, like visual content. It could just be you talking in front of the camera. And you're going to put this on all over social media, get a good pace with it, get a good amount of followers from it. I'm not an expert in that, but there's other people who can train you on that. And you're basically going to meet girls at the club with this promoter. They are going to follow your IG. You're going to post. You're going to tag them in the stories. And it's going to create an aura that expands and that draws more women in. Okay, now, you never want to go to the club alone. Okay, that makes you look bad. It's also going to fuck up your mentality where you're not going to be able to approach, and you're going to be drinking way more. Okay, a lot of people would find it weird to just befriend a promoter, go out alone without any friends, but it's actually way better because you're avoiding your guy friends cock blocking you. Okay, but I get that people are weird and they want to get past that. So what you're going to do is use the dating apps to get girls to the club. Okay, so in your bio, in your images, you're going to establish you're this fun guy. Maybe your content, maybe even a picture of you and the promoter. Okay, and it's going to be a super easy avenue. Hey, you're cute. You want to come to this club with me on Thursday? I got a table. You're positioning yourself as higher, and if you want to say that as well. And now you're queuing up these semi-dates, okay? So you don't have to worry too much about them being normal or attractive because, you're not going to be necessarily sleeping with them, but they're just improving your image. So now you bring them to the club, and you start getting seen by the staff, by the promoter. They start seeing you as somebody that has value. Because think about all those guys that show up to the club with no chicks, okay? Having a chick with you is a clear differentiator. Whether you're a 60-year-old sugar daddy or whether you're 22 and you just bought your first car, okay? So you bring the girls with you. Now, at that club, okay, maybe you take her for dinner first, you grab a drink first, whatever it may be. At that club, every time you're going to be getting more numbers, talking to people, asking them for their IG, recording more content, tagging more people. Those people are then going to come into your stories. During the week, you're posting content. You're showing that you have an active life, which most guys don't. That will interest all the girls in your funnel from seeing your story. They're going to start approaching you. They're going to start asking you for things. And you can see that they're looking at your stories, and you can go ask them to come to the next event with you or to do a dinner, or even just come and fucking hook up, okay? If you execute this correctly, every hot chick you get is going to keep Michael Sartain guy and kind of be like a promoter where you're at the table. That's fucking stupid. Those people are like the laughing stock behind the scenes. You want to be deadly. Promoters are often not deadly. They're not getting that much action. You don't want to be that type of guy, okay? You're just using that to get to the girls. And then, again here, we're not talking about just like sex as the end goal, okay? You can use this method. It's going to make you much more compatible with a wider variety of women. You're going to know what you want. You're going to have more experience, more shit coming in, and you're going to be able to get a really high quality wife, attract and keep her without getting cucked. Chris Hansen Lifestyle on TikTok. Follow for more advice.